We absolutely will. The series taking a turn as KC pick up Haven. They had a couple of opportunities to do it, but now we go to Corrode. The newest map into the pool, and I draw back to that conversation we were having of this IGL head-to-head between Sadak and Boaster. When Lotus came in for lock-in, one of the few maps that Fnatic were able to gel instantly into and find success. The one time they lost it, that event, was against Sadak's Loud. It's a completely different year, a different roster though, of course. But is that instant success from Fnatic replicatable?
That's the question. Fnatic did really well against BBL in controlling the mains and using that as a way to scale up and manipulate the map. Mid, not a priority, like we've seen with other teams, and they do so right here as Martin forced back on B site as Fnatic look to be aggressive on B, sorry, and it doesn't work out.
Martin's going to get cleared here though, so it is a 4v4, and he simply have to respect the poison orb in play from Kron for the time being.
Spam trying to come through from the Sheriffs. Boaster though manages to escape with his life and get that spike down, but Crashes pushing towards CT. And he also has the support of Alpha's Vise.
That's been detected, and Alpha up in heaven does get taken out by Pyro.
And that it does. Crashes though still holding on towards CT, the lone player here, and he's finally routed out. Boaster pushing this orb, and it doesn't work out in his favour. Neither does the post plan. It's KC win the pistol.
Important pistol round win for KC, mandatory in some senses. Starting to build up this defender's side as best as possible. Of course, they lost both on Haven. Very weird smokes placed there by Martin. I think he initially wanted the one-way, but the rapid succession of Fnatic players stopped him, and a kill's here. Round defining as Sadak's trying to build confidence on Artur, Pyro, the newest member in the team, of course, and I think you always want that from your leader.
Yeah, of course, Sadak knows exactly how to build up young players. He's done it many a time on that Loud roster that he was in control of for many years.
Yeah, and that was the story of their 2024, right? The passing of the torch, I think, before he realized there was work to be done that he was ready for, closed that chapter, and this new era of KC unveiled in front of thousands of fans. We'll be hoping for a homecoming. Maybe Corrode could be the map that they want in their pool to just look that little bit better to keep this lower run going if we're really tempting fate and a possible miracle. Start to this round, Kayak already out of the picture. So that's one thing about the Brim, those smokes last for a long time. You can really stall out your opponent with them.
It feels like it could be a direct counter to that luck wall that we've been seeing many a time on B main from Fnatic, in terms of the fact that it will deny those lines of sight for a long time. Only question is if that Viper Wall goes up, if you try to play in the cubby, putting yourself in a difficult position in terms of you will have to take gunfights, right?
Especially when Fnatic are a team that play on low
30
time.
seconds left.
We saw that a lot on Haven and in previous matches, so something to think about as time is wearing thin as it so often does. Fnatic now entertaining this mid-fight, one from Kron to try and overwhelm the B push, but Martin stands his ground, and that's all about KC really need here.
Left.
Yeah, and all the players staying away from Chronicle here. He will rescue himself a Guardian, so even if he does stay alive, it won't be the worst problem in the world.
The gun that you want at the same time, though, I suppose. So he's just going to run it into the ground, and by a whisker can't find Martin. But yeah, I mean, we've said it, it's an interesting pick, but one which we're trying to see the benefits of. The comp they played here previously was...
Bro, they're not playing around.
yeah, similar to the Heretics comp with a double duelist, just a change in the controllers, and they've gone one step further this time.
Bucky in play for Pyro as well, just to note in case we see anybody try to push in towards that A-link position where it will be so strong with the close quarters. But this time, KC, let's look at B main. Trying to be aggressive, just to throw the paranoia out and don't do anything off the back of it. hoping that that's enough to dissuade Fnatic from moving any further, but it's not.
Alright, caught on the other side of this Omen smoke. So the one we saw Sociable using, but it's Martin with a smoking gun. The Bulldog collecting two. No stranger to the controller role. We've seen him on an Omen before, but this Brim right in their face is such a problem right now as the bonus goes from strength to strength.
Still continuing on. Fnatic through B main. Fearless delay coming through, but that flash is absolutely perfect. And Kayak can't go any further. Fnatic are having real problems with trying to get out of these mains.
Oh, and Sugetsu there even finding the next kill. This could very well end flawlessly. Oster has work to do. He's not even going to find one, and it is an in-zone flawless in the bonus round for KC. Complete shutdown of Fnatic to start this game.
Especially when you think of the buy that KC had. It was a bit here, there, and everywhere.
And something I want to touch on here is Sadak's role. Back onto the KO, something we've seen from him a lot more often. It's a sort of move away from what we came to expect from KC in the sense that very often they would be playing with the Sentinel. It was usually elite. It had become Sadak. And now completely removing that entirely does free up the opportunity for him to sort of slot back in, I suppose. And it seems to be working as it stands.
Yeah, I'm wondering how this composition that KC has is going to do on the attack side, like, because when we look at it on the defender side, I mean, yeah, sure, it's going to thrive. I mean, you've got a Brimstone, for God's sake. That is so much delay.
Standard procedure right now in shutting Fnatic out of the mid space, an area of the map we'll constantly have to pay close attention to. They did really struggle when BBL were getting these deep inserts at the bottom of mid. Hard players to clear. Althea through Link has been considered. Sugetsu's watching this.
Last player standing.
It's dealt with it as well. So Crashy's on his lonesome with a Phantom. 45 seconds as well. There's not a lot of time. We're not going to look at this as a possibility, but if you get a couple of clean fights.
Yeah, look, potentially in a different universe, but I'm not willing to entertain it personally. Okay. I would love to be proven wrong, but yeah, my suspicions were correct. Crashies isn't going to attempt this, and it lets us continue to discuss what the expectation is here. Really, Fnatic were much better on the defender's side against BBL, and a lot of that stemming from Kayak in his first engagement, something which we do want to be paying close attention to, and how effective he can be throughout this game.
Yeah, they were better on the defender side, right? But also Fnatic won half of all attack rounds, which is a much better trend compared to other teams that have played Corrode attack.
Yeah, and it does stem back to what we were saying, that KC need this early success. 4 rounds. The streak yet to end. Already besting their tally than when they played Na'Vi. Initial outing on here, their debut on Corrode. The mid-control, massively important for them there. Building into the next round, Fnatic, the only ones with an ult right now. It's the Nightfall to try and build off, but it's another reserved default from them.
Yeah, this attack side, they need something, right? They need... Sure, they need a round, but it's more so the economy. They need some stabilization. Even to just get that spike down would feel like a win, because they've been completely locked out of the site so far.
Something which Fnatic liked to do a lot when they played BBL was set up Alpha to place a deep Vice wall, check for any proactivity, but KC are taking this ahead of the curve. Althea is unprepared, and with Chronicle sat 10 paces behind him, there's no trade either. Early advantage for the defenders.
Fnatic have not been allowed to sit comfortably in these mains at all. KC ready to fight them at every opportunity.
And sort of even there, the direction looks a bit concerning in terms of the setup, and now Fnatic starting to reinvestigate these mains. Spread themselves a little thin.
And just not winning any fight whatsoever. The re-engage, the utility, they're being pushed back at every point, but there is an opening. And that opening is the B site. Martin notes the players coming out of there, and that is where the spike is, and Crashies all alone. get taken out. So a 2 versus 5 to try and clutch from for Fnatic.
Plenty of ground still to be covered, but Fnatic have both controllers up. They can put a wall of smoke in front of KC, but ultimately need some kind of tangible advantage, and that's where they begin to hunt through elbow.
Scanning ahead.
Still taking the time to come back in. Don't want to get taken off guard by the last two players, but they will do. And that's the main part of the forces. There's even a molly to take anyone off the spike. Cosmic Divide put in, but it's Chronicle to clutch up again for Fnatic and get a very important round for this attack.
Series was building in a scary direction, but Chronicle,
One enemy
the
remaining.
late show again, as we drag into the night.
Holy shit!
He's managed to clutch out another huge win to stop the KC streak. And a very well micromanaged situation when Fnatic were down massively in numbers there. You're thinking of the amount of times that KC had perhaps thrown away advantages, but let's take a look at this one and really pick it apart as we get to know the new kid on the block, Pyro.
There you go. Username originated from him typing random letters on his keyboard of all things, but a player who has come up from the Tier 2 system, and sure, he's not had the most amount of runway to develop into the year into his Tier 1 debut, but listen, he's done well so far in this series.
Chance to get to know him better, perhaps. I say kid, but 24 years of age, at least in terms of esports terms, 1 year off being a boomer, as people have said, of course. Jokes aside, he has had a fairly healthy career so far in Challengers, playing most recently on Zero Tenacity, saw them in Challengers EMEA, brushing shoulders with players such as Alexic, who wait on the other side of this lower bracket. But only just now finding himself in the team environment, feels like he really needs to be a key component for KC's success. I think a lot of that is his assistive capabilities. We didn't see all too many picked up, but in this week, on this map, the fade, such an important part. How KC will function into the next rifle. Alpha's remembered his lineup this time. Remember, he hadn't against BBL.
That's very true. And it seems as if this time round Fnatic are playing more with a death ball group, right? At least 4 strong. Before they were splitting up 2 towards either side, and KC using the Omen ultimate to clear B main.
Very quick clear, and running into Martin here, having already used the molly and sat back on the orbital strike, it can cover the majority of courtyard. Fnatic second guessing themselves, but A is the site they look most inclined to take.
Nightfall through mid to try and force players back from fighting, and it's going to be an A split, as that's where the spike is heading through. It is on crashes as well too, no, but KC aware of this, and they'll get the first player coming out of Link.
Yeah, the vines were broken as well though, and KC have consolidated their position with the Brimmo.
Well, more delay, 20 seconds left. Spike needs to go down. Fnatic need to unlock this site, but they are locked out without a key.
Ooh.
But unless Crashes is able to buy this round, the other 2 players for Carmine Core are nowhere near the A site.
Crashes to see if he could do. His teammates couldn't. It would be back-to-back clutches for Fnatic. He's had time to set this up. No info yet on the 2 retaking defenders though from KC.
Crashes distracted by CT. Oh, switches up. That paranoia is huge. It's hit Crashes spot on. No lines of sight and no way to clutch up the round. KC will restore their dominance and up to 5.
Yeah, Fnatic looking staggered again on another execution. You're wondering who's the front man, who's leading them forwards. A lot of times we've seen Boaster fulfill that role on the entry. Ends up getting traded here, but yeah, that early loss of Kayak really not suiting them so well. And KC able to congregate, regroup off the previous round loss. And they're set up for a 6th here. The question is sort of how many more rounds can they pack into this defender's side, which we know the comp is loaded for, and we know most teams tend to find success on this half of Corrode.
Yeah, I'm really wondering how long they can keep this going, right? If they're going to stall out on the attack side. We've seen Carmine Core struggle with that attack, well, in general, right across all the map pool, especially with the new map. These Crash is able to get the entry, that's Pyro gone, and an upgrade to be had for one of these players.
All this is going down. AC looking to get proactive here.
Gunner.
They are. Martin's going to help here, so back to a 4-on-4. And this round gets so weird because KC are trying to brawl their way through, and Fnatic are trying to brute force their way into side.
They don't want to go A. They want to follow up on Chronicle. He's lurked all the way through B, now getting a chance to fight Sugetsu. Oh, the gun barrel!
No way!
He's completely done a disservice. And so that is the route to B now open.
Well, KC, they need to try and re-clear through CT, and Kron is ready for the next fight.
Take it on the chin. Lick of damage, trying to run, but the sideline opens up. And with Alves finding that,
30 seconds left.
his numbers back
Planted.
to KC's favor.
Crashy's next up. Look.
Clearing utility to try and find him here as Crashy's forward position has found two heads. The dome piece removed and now it's on to Boaster. Crashy's has done his best. Can Boaster stand up and complete the task? Of course he can. K-Safeguard Thrifty. Problems for KC. Fnatic making it back from the ashes yet again.
Yeah, but how long are these problems going to last? Let's be honest here. This defense has got a bankroll to back itself up. In fact, actually, when I look at it, it's not really that big is what we expected, even after the success that KC's had in these early rounds. So, sure, ultimates to be had here. Fnatic have an opportunity to break the defenders by and send themselves forward.
Set piece KC. Looks like this might be a chance to use the Sova ult potentially. This was hanging around outside of B as they double flashed in, and Fnatic respecting this early. KC understanding that they can take marginal victories earlier on in the round by really pushing the limits here, where Fnatic has struggled to withhold.
Time towards mid. There's plenty of bodies for either side to fight this. Fnatic, though, don't want anything to do with it. KC know that the last time there was an A split, don't want to allow that opportunity to the orange and black, and well, they'll decide to start to look towards the mains. Martin using the Viper's Orb against Fnatic and found a pocket in which to work with, and it works out in his favour. A double kill. One more player to find to make sure that this A main's his, but it's Kayak through Link that wins out and opens up the A site.
Smartly played from Martin. He's done his job of slowing down the push into the retake. Sugetsu has a timing and wins it. That's huge. KC into another retake with numbers.
And the Hunter's Fury hasn't hit. It's only delayed the spike a little bit.
Spike planted.
Pick up. Very slow from the French side.
Facing up on two players. We've seen so many spray downs so far this map.
We have, but won't get the opportunity this time. Still waiting to play in Sugetsu, and he's really taking his time. And Kayak knows, because of the information that Boaster gave him earlier, the paranoia not hitting, but the spike no longer in Fnatic's control. The Carmine Core players are on top of it, but time is getting low, and you know the players need to start to get to work to get this one done. Crashes, knows that the spike's being worked on, but with Sugetsu there, it will be a Carmine Core round.
And efficiently they sweep it up. The smoke plays. This is so smartly done from Martin. Playing around the attacking Viper smoke from Chronicle. And then finding a little pocket from which to play. Doesn't get cleared. He finds his two. 11 and 5 right now. On an agent you weren't expecting to see him play coming into the day. But for all the questions that we had from him, they have been settled up until this point.
Yeah.
But Fnatic still prove that they can be just as good on an eco as a gun round. And that's something they'll tap into here.
And this is the thing, right? 4 rounds left. If Fnatic can win at least 1, I mean, 2 would be a godsend for them. Then you've got a pistol round where, let's be honest, Fnatic have looked so good time and time again because of Kayak. But for a moment, we'll park that. Sugetsu's taking a walk in mid and doesn't want to go any further.
But Fnatic have to invest utility to clear that if they want it. This is a split push, and the spike has to head through middle, so KC are in a brilliant position to handle this.
Ultimate. There's a TP towards the top of mid, and Kayak's taking that. Sugetsu trying to hold on with the classic, and a flash stops Kayak getting any more. Martin in that corner that we've seen him work from before.
Yeah. The spike has been completely stopped because of this mid-duel.
And 40 seconds left for Fnatic to try and fight their way out of it. Is this going to pivot to an A play?
It almost has to. You can see the movement, but still, because the spike's in mid, they have to get past Pyro. He's the last line of defense for KC.
And Fnatic once again find themselves in a difficult position. But the patience is what always does them so well. On towards Pyro they go, and he's holding on. Alpha, spike down, and now Chronicle. He's only got a stinger, for God's sake. He's got no chance in hell of winning this round.
So time will seal the fate of Fnatic on round number 9. KC already with their advantage out of the opening 12, looking to grow that lead. It was a mixed investment, but it just doesn't feel like Fnatic at all. It's so slow, so labored. KC, on the other hand, have got it bang on with this mid-fight. More brilliant utility from Sadak to support. The null command made things so difficult. It makes you wonder why the spike was committed through that part of the map, perhaps.
Yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying. It doesn't feel like Fnatic, but I don't think slow and labelled is necessarily the words I would use, but it just feels like they don't have the answers that they normally do to buy themselves out of those slow and labelled rounds.
Shadows traveling.
I think his name is Kayak, because you want to draw parallels to Durka in previous years and the shoes that he had to fill, the shoes which he has filled. Something that Kayak was great at doing on Apex is being that autonomous leader, the one which brings direction to the rounds which feel hopeless. But if he's not able to carve out those advantages and already here dead inside the first 40 seconds, then what do the rest of Fnatic have for us? Does it have to be clutches every single time? Because that's how it feels right now.
Prowler identifying at least one in main. KC still looking to find information, which they won't actually get through the drone of the Sova.
Another Fnatic 5 versus 4 situation. Trying to use the Viper smoke to just push out of the choke, but KC have it covered. Twice the numbers now. Still slow rolling forwards, but into the jaws of defeat. Alpha will walk away with one. That is all. The sole concession with 10 rounds played. KC starting to hit the mark of expectation for this defender's side.
Yeah, and I mean, at this moment in time, right, if it continues this way, we will be missing a Fnatic from a Stage 2 Grand Final. Again, as already said, the last time that happened was 2021. And what happened that year, Hazza? Where was champs? It wasn't Berlin, it was in EMEA.
Oh, that's a reacher. I don't know, have you got any more of those for KC perhaps to get their fans excited? Because, I mean, this performance alone is seeming to do the trick. Alpha with a first kill. That is a change of pace.
It's a big position for Aves. Deep down mid, given that passive information that Fnatic haven't interacted, but there's plenty of bodies here. And KC know that if Fnatic fail in the mains, they like to try and pivot to split through mid. And look at how far they're going.
Let's be careful not to get caught here, and he does. Kayak the next to follow it up. Spike still in the hands of Crash. He's still entertaining the possibility of this duel. The B site is free, they don't know that yet. Kron's still working his way through. Oh! Big Alpha play in middle there, okay. Sure, I guess that is what it takes. A quad kill to give Fnatic their third, and that could be the watershed moment here on Corrode.
Bring them down.
Yeah, this is going to be a big round to win out. Alpha, absolutely fantastic, sure.
Nice
a
help
little
here.
bit of
Sick
luck.
round, bro.
But listen,
Let's kill
a
this
lifeline bot
competition.
with ultimates in the last round.
KC also playing not just double controller, but double scan. They are looking for this information as much as possible. It's actually Sadak's knife that has already spotted the first player in B main.
Kayak's done so well there. A double entry. This is fights that they've not been winning. So that B site opens up, but the spike's still so far away.
So is Sugetsu though, and without his ult, it's going to take a little bit more time for KC to get into position. Fnatic have plotted course. There's a Nightfall in here, and Kron tagged in his pit. Whoa, all the way down to 17.
Still managing to keep himself alive, and now it's Protect the President to keep that pit up. Deny KC a way back in. And that orbital strike being offline is going to prove a big problem, a component that KC wishes that they had.
Fowler spots the first player. They know the aggression of Kayak, paranoia to take him off the line, but Fnatic still fighting this.
Yeah, but every single time Fnatic find themselves in a crossfire towards CT, and it crashes up on Heaven with Kayak holding on from down low, trying to make their approach through the pit is not to be advised, but Kayak and his utility gets caught. Time now starting to get low, and this round going into the realms of Fnatic, into the realms of it being an 8-4 half, which is exactly what is needed if there's going to be any semblance of a comeback for Fnatic.
A huge turn of events for the black and orange. With Paris already guaranteed, they'll be looking to remove one of the home teams from making that grand arrival. And on this map, which they picked into, you're starting to see some of the strengths come through. The defense is up next for them. Can it get any better?
Your body knows. A sense of victory. Seized when mind, movement, and gear ignite as one. Now, step into your zone. Designed to win.
And with those last couple of rounds, Fnatic have bought themselves a chance to come back in the second half. But if there's any man to deny them, it would be this man on your screen right here. An inconsistent 2025, and he'll be looking to try and get close to his 2024 stats, which, let's be honest, he's already there.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, that the stats on paper are actually slightly better than last year, but you also have to consider the opposition that Martin has played up until this point, up against, you know, Koi, Na'Vi, Apex in groups, now playing against your Fnatics of the world. He is looking like the best player in the server, but we turn to the defensive half. Fnatic have built themselves a foundation, and I just want to bring it up again. You have to look at that head-to-head between him and Kayak. Kayak was lights out, didn't lose a single opening duel on the defense, won both of them, and the pistol round is one which we will remember for a very long time.
Remember, Kayak has only won 5 duels so far.
And he's nowhere near this, so it's all eyes on the B side.
Yeah, albeit respecting the push coming through, but not respecting Sadat as he finds the entry pick.
Who's the one furthest forwards? Yeah. The rest of KC now flooding, getting themselves on site, but looking for a way out, an option.
Oh.
Set up this post plant.
I thought for a minute the spike was heading here as well, but instead, no, it's just Martin and Sugetsu. But listen, there's a contest on the Prince of Pistols. It seems to be Alfiera, and he'll win Fnatic.
A usurper to the throne, perhaps. Kayak is surplus to requirements. He'll be hoping to build some confidence up going into the anti-eco. But Fnatic, on the face of it, do a very good job at dealing with the threat here. It's once Alpha finds that first fight and has the wall up, drops all the way back through elbow with the support of his team, not leaving themselves exposed.
Nice!
Knowing KC want to give themselves an advantage.
And the big thing here is that Fnatic have denied the attack, the pistol round, to get close to double digits, right?
And that's the thing, now these 8 rounds feels meager, right? In the face, it pales in comparison to Fnatic just sat on 5, but having this defender's half in front of them.
Yeah.
You have to try and work out what it is that KC want to do, what the theory is here. Already you're seeing Pyro loading up towards the Nightfall.
Well, I mean, so far I don't think we've seen KC interact with mid whatsoever, right? I mean, last round it was straight hit in towards B. This round it's been B main and A main, with only Sadak really watching if anybody takes a step further.
Got the double smokes there, Boaster, and his affinity to this Astra continues, but all that does is give you extra global presence. Still an absence of KC as they slowly make their way towards mid, but it's crashes with the Outlaw. Let's see how closer he can get to his own Nightfall.
Smokes denying any lines of sight though, and that's the big thing here. Oh, but big information, even though the Haunt denies and Fnatic collapsing upon this mid play. An in-zone flawless in the anti-eco round will make this bonus even more exciting.
Very much in the same way we saw Fnatic have a flawless bonus. Or KC, sorry. Fnatic have done it on their anti-eco. But yeah, if you convert the next round, things do look that bit more scary. The collapse here on the mid position and shots through the smoke serving them well. Just waiting to see what it is this attack wants to do.
This is our game, boys. This is our game.
Smiles still on the faces. Feeling confident they can turn this around, and why wouldn't you?
Confidence within the ranks, but Kayak not found through the dart. Aves taken out early doors, so
he's immediately here on the B site as well, so you've got that second player over. In fact, he's the sole custodian of the space.
KC looking to send out, force their way through. Not going to happen. Still delay to be had. And oh, a player identified. In fact, a fair few through that horn that they're going back.
Right here.
Crashes on the line. He's going to take the next off those players. KC walking into trouble. Not much health left on the remaining forces that are now trying to recuperate towards B, and Kayak will drop. Still so much work to be done.
Double stack to try and get out of. Nah, no chance. KC, this bonus round is going Fnatic's way. And as you said earlier on, 8-4 looks meager after 3 rounds in a row from Fnatic.
Absolutely it does, and the one thing that I pick up on in that round is sort of the absence as well of having a Viper, something to really lurk into these sites and feign effective pressure. KC are struggling. They're having to invest Martin's Brim smokes to trigger the wall, to get in there and offload the presence that Fnatic have. Just Sheriff's here, yeah, they have the Nightfall up, but you're waiting another round to see it find effectiveness most likely.
Something I want to call back to in earlier conversations we were having in the week. in the playoffs is that it was Coach Pal, right, the VBL coach, speaking about how you have to load your comps for the attack side rather than the defense side. And right now, the way that I would theory craft is that KC have loaded for the defense side and only got 8 rounds, which for me feels like a big failure.
Yeah, minimal returns, perhaps the best way to put it, but
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. Kayak starting to gain confidence in these first few rounds, and now through his lens, he looks to find more.
Down A.
2 from the pole, and in position to get a little more, perhaps, but 3 versus 3, no guns for KC, but a post plant on the cards.
Oh, but Crashy's not identified through the nightfall, and an opportunity to deny this fight and any chance of an upset in this round. Sugetsu Sheriff is the only resistance, but resistance is futile. We are all even in this corrode.
Feels a little lazy even to overlook the link position with the Nightfall invested elsewhere. Crashy's getting the most. And a timeout coming through from KC, a much needed one at this stage in the game. Their tournament lives on the line, a map to the good of course, but find our decider. Still not completely sold on, you know, their own map pool. These things taking time. Measures put in place, and even thinking about the player change.
Yeah.
You don't have LAN experience on all too many.
Yeah, that you don't, right? That's the big thing. I mean, you think about all the players in their days in VCT.
But even then, I mean, it's not like you could say Pyrol's the problem right now.
Yeah.
He's 15 and 12, he's at the top of the scoreboard. He was admirable on Haven. It's just a system which is not quite working to the efficiency that you'd expect, and the attack side doesn't feel perhaps as well thought out as what we had initially hoped for KC.
And well, coming in to the next round after KC's timeout, to talk about what the buy looks like, we are going to get Kayak on his operator, and also Alpha here bringing out the Odin. This map has felt paper thin at times, and I don't think we've really seen an EMEA teams capitalise upon that.
So gonna get from KC here a slower default, both mains attempted again. Pyrol over towards that left-hand side is gonna be looking for the orb. He has the prowlers to bring Kayak off the line. Alpha spamming until the bullets have run out. Martin catches Kayak. A huge kill in the round to influence its progress. And to give KC half a chance. It's still the ace stack.
KC, first time we've really seen them go towards mid and clear it out, but the utility not really there to back it up, and instead, no, they go towards A. Fnatic respond to the pressure of just a single knife and smoke,
And when
it's bringing them closer towards this A side where the spike's going.
Exactly, and when I say stack, I meant utility, but there's no players to play off it now. Fnatic gutting the mid portion just to make sure that they're in the best possible position for a retake as they sit a man down. That's the equalizer. Pyrol taken off his feet. Crashies has his number. Poster now by his side with the flank closing in. KC will begin to search for that advantage again.
Yeah, but Sugetsu's all alone in main, and he's trying to run Scarpa towards the site, but he's playing dangerously.
Still dwindling around, but here is Kron. The onus put on him here. Quick trade. Headshot maybe over-delivering in that situation because it's kept it at 3-on-3. Elevated position Sugetsu. No more to be done from him in the round. And we're still at an even man count as it continues to draw forwards. Double stack of players for KC. Walking in with the Odin. Alpha at the back of the pack. It's Arvez that will win it for Carmine Core in the end. The first round on their attack side. 5 times the struggle. But finally, they're on the board.
And that's exactly what they wanted, right? Finally getting this attack off to a start, but lots of bodies lost after that, after the fact. And still, that attack side economy not looking good, especially when Fnatic can bounce straight back with 3 ultimates lying in wait.
Bag would have immediately been checked by the knife. It wasn't for Alpha yet to go ahead and break it. Now this round, a lot more difficult, a lot tougher to crack if you're KC. They've done a great job at removing key pieces from Fnatic's defense before. Oh, what? What is that? Sagetsu's deleted Kayak into the Shadow Realm he sent, and that was something to focus on. The macro, having the Viper's Pit and the op on either side. The A site now loosened up.
Does feel a bit softer. Crash is there to try and reinforce it. With that Viper's Pit holding down B main, it feels as if KC really have only one option, and Sugetsu identified through the Prowler.
You can also see what they're doing. They're sending Pyrol now towards B to fake that they might want to clear through the pit. Problem is, in the meantime, so much utility being spent on A that it's kept Fnatic interested. No rotation yet to be made.
Bring them down.
Time getting low. Prowler not getting Kron.
That's dragged Boaster over.
30
But it
seconds
has,
left.
but he can influence the round through being just Astra, right? And the fact that we're also going to get the ultimate come through, the Steel Garden. This is a real problem for KC. The firepower not there to support the push.
Preemptive play made, and with 15 seconds, KC have to scale into the A site. The orbital strike to cut off most of the ground, but it's space that they can't themselves flood into. Spike needs to hit the deck, still not committed. Finally, it's a last gasp opportunity, which Crashies cannot deny. The kill's still in place for Fnatic, but KC have numbers.
That they do. Only one player better, and still Kron to come through, but he's flanking.
Alpha and Elbow. Completely unchecked here. Vigilant round the corner, collecting the first. Quick trade. Sadak has his number, as do KC. He will set up the contact, the captain. It's Aves to swing, but it has to be through the molly. Disciplined, in position. Resolute they remain. KC, in the face of this Fnatic oppression on their defender's side, have finally seen the light and found 2 from 2.
Got to remember, Fnatic are fighting for their playoff life. Sugetsu, that should not have been allowed.
Oh, and it was Aves that ulted trying to get the spike down. If that doesn't show the sheer desperation.
I see Hazemo planting Nakui, ulting Nakui, planting Nakui.
The panic.
Yeah.
But as it sets in, the same could be said for Fnatic. Their second and final timeout used in regulation.
This is elimination as well. You've got to remember, lower bracket run for either of these teams, a very important match, and KC still have one timeout in the chamber if it's needed later into this matchup. As both coaches, or both sets of coaches, try to inform their teams on how to move forward. KC have found a vulnerability in the A side of the map.
And they'll be looking to exploit it as much as possible. Fnatic still getting to terms with what it means to play on Corrode. You can see it in some of the rounds. They picked into it now twice. Maximizing their time on the new map. We've not really seen them do that since when Lotus emerged all those years ago, and we spoke about it before. That it's so important that they can get up to speed. That is the focus of this exercise, but even then, to be eliminated by KC here would be well below expectation. Despite the stakes, despite what's on the line, huge swing round potentially here coming up in terms of the finance for both. Miss Knife Sadak, but matters not. A main is KC's, and it's a pacey take they'll be looking for.
Yeah, and it's backed by the null command, right? Everything offline. But the Vise of Alpha is on the other side of the map, so that's at least influencing the round. The players trying to break out of this link position, but the body's there, the Odin not hitting. Crash is missing out, but Boaster up close with the Stinger, and players have been softened up, which Kayak will manipulate to his advantage. Spike on the floor,
2v1.
and Kayak chasing him down. He needs to be careful.
He has the spike and a full util belt.
Yeah, but 9 bullets in the chamber. Whoa. That might be all he needs. And that's exactly it! The Wonder Boy comes through once again as Kayak wins the round for Fnatic.
A player reborn on the defensive halves. A Fnatic able to spin things back to their own success. It's started well. Sadak baiting in there with the jump on low HP to get the trade. A much quicker approach with the KO ult used, but you can see how much it means to the coaches because they know that's now the attack on a low buy. A chance to settle the score equal again. And such a huge piece which didn't turn value in a pivotal round.
Relief for Fnatic as all the stockpile of ultimates is gone and they're really trying to scale up through mid. They've never really dealt with the top of it. And Kayak, the player who clutched up last round, put under the cosh from Chronicles there. And he's been set up perfectly! It's multi-kill madness in this round, in this map! And we go all even once again!
KC think they've sieged the castle, and the battering ram comes out the other side from Chronicle. 4 kills in an instant, played in by Crashy's ult. As quickly as we come out of the previous timeout, there's another one invested, and this time it's on the blue side of the server.
This will be the last timeout of this map in regulation.
Something which Sadak had always been so good at doing was those pace changes. And here it's a gear shift towards the cliff's edge instead. Still a map to the good, still plenty more Valorant to be played this evening. But KC want to wrap this one up quickly. They've got places to be. Paris, the destination at the end of it all, of course, but in terms of what they change up here, there's a mental game being played between the two. Fnatic reacting very quickly in the previous couple to any presence.
Can't rush a good thing though. Well, they want to get this done early. They might have to wait till to that third map and be patient with it as well. As we head into what is the last 4 rounds of regulation.
Rotation's looking really solid from the defenders at the moment, and Kayak nearly breaking even in the previous few. Something I wanted to highlight before is, how much is Pyrol assisting the rest of his team? I think while the kills on the surface look good, you want to see more assists from the Fade player here. The scaling has been an issue so far on some of these attack rounds. Take the most out of the tools that they've got. Fight taken from Fnatic in mid. KC quickly, again, moving into this space.
Yeah, they are. Kayak, though, on the hunt. And he just backs away.
Didn't want to bite the bullet. Risk the potential of going down. He knows what it means. The whole first half, he struggled in those first fights, but now, new sense of confidence about his being.
Yeah, but he's heard everything that's going on in A-Link right now.
And that's why Chronicle has arrived on the scene with him beneath the arch.
Comes in at the right time. Sadak denied any lines of sight towards top mid where Kron could be. Look at Crashes.
Walking out, Kayak, first blood on the round, shut down quickly, so Getsu on the swivel. Viper wall up, Kron caught with his hands in his pockets, 2 players peeking, still gets out beyond the half wall, and Crashes taking down Martin. It's a massacre in middle, yet again. Fnatic starting to now move in front on Corrode. We call back to the first half, and KC slipping away when the chance was right in front of them.
Think of how many clutches that Fnatic were able to win. Well, at least 3 out of the 4, right?
That now completely alters the dynamic of the game here. KC trying to trade, play as a unit.
Thank you, Cronny. Thank you, Cronny.
It's a little bit split. Needing to create pressure on the extremities as well as middle. There's just so much weighing on their minds right now.
And it feels as if the pace that KC had at the start of this map is starting to lessen and lessen as they don't have a buy. All on Sheriffs.
I'd argue it's almost increasing at the same time. They've turned up the velocity of these executions. The problem being that Fnatic are equal to it every single time. And here, it's a shot in the dark from Boaster. Martin gone with an ult. Should it get to that point? But Fnatic have a few of their own, and really, you are looking towards that final round for KC to create themselves any advantages here. One of them would be if Pyrol could get an extra ult point.
It's Big F. Another big if is if they can clear Kron in the corner. Utility there, and they're not going to do it. He's there, equal to the task. Brilliant from Chronicle and Boaster. And Sugetsu all alone on the site. A Sheriff try and clear this out, but Fnatic are there, and they will reach map point on their map choice.
Stage 1 champions showing you what it means to go through the gears, the motions. Taking a little bit of time, but rounds like this are just a confidence boost more than anything else. All the util in the choke. KC can't get past it. They need 2 in a row here. The best effort that they've been able to achieve. The timeline would suggest that they're set up for it, but Fnatic have the tools into round 23. And one of them is the pit again. Just stop this initial B push.
Last time KC interacted with this Viper pit was when they just sent the lone fade to try and clear it out. This time round, maybe a Vez to find crashes. Kayak's there as well though, and he's immediately re-cleared towards mid, knowing that KC aren't here. This isn't an option for them.
Portal closed.
Was able to draw Boaster's rotation last time, Pyro here. Not playing with the util, Sadak holding, and has Kayak dead to right.
Flashing.
On the angle, Alfie just re-clearing A in the meantime,
Spike
using his
down
flash,
A.
taking down Sadak. 4 versus 3, KC have numbers, but it's that scaling I was talking about. A lot of ground to be covered through the A courtyard.
Yeah, and a lot of Vice utility to try and get through as well.
Also Kron's orb, a little more time bought.
And Alfia has support. It's Boaster, and Alfia
Spike
straight
down
away
A.
knocks the next head, hitting his crosshair.
Face your fear.
Spike on the ground, Nightfall invested. KC need to try and make their way towards A. They encircle it. Still, an orbital strike to clear out the site. Alfia just managing to escape, or so I thought. No, instead, they've opened it up clearly, and Kron has to try and make his way back through.
Multiple clutches for the man already.
Planted.
Could the most decorated player in VCT add another clutch to his collection? Not gonna happen. Pyro to claim. KC staying in this with the potential of a 5th overtime in as many matches, as many maps. This just a punishment of Fnatic's extension.
I mean, you can see what they're trying to do. They set up the crossfire, don't anticipate the orbital strike, and it gives us a 1-round shootout.
Fnatic still sitting on plenty of strong ults though. Strong ults for a retake potentially.
Cutting through.
Only problem with that is, if Sadak's able to get an ultimate orb, that could really delay any retake that they want to go for.
Exactly. It's the Hunter's Fury in early. Oh, Aves lands the tag. Looking for Crashy, searching still. Can't find him. Kayak cracking down instead.
And he's out. No way of a trade.
Fnatic wanted the mid-brawl initially. It has served them so well up until this point. Kayak spotted in the back lines, anticipating the flash. Chronicle, the same fate, but no capitalization. Still here playing from the corner, on the wall. Aves finally takes him down. And KC back in the 4-on-4.
The spike collected, a direction which KC have picked now, and it's the B site where Boaster lies in wait from heaven.
Sadak still doesn't have the ult, so he can't remove all of that extra utility. He would love to maybe fake towards A, but it's a group up and a B hit instead that we're going to end up getting. Boaster first line of defense. He has an ult, so does Alpha.
That ultimate orb being picked up has been heard. No command used, and Fnatic respecting this. There's a little bit of spam coming through from Crash's Odin, but it hasn't really netted anything in terms of a kill. But Boaster maybe showing a bit too much, gives a pick to KC.
Still players low on the KC side though. One of them, Martin, melted through the wall. The hopes and dreams of this team might be slipping through their fingers. Sadak's trying to get off site. Full setup from elbow in post, but where is the spike planted in all of this? Is there safety? A sanctuary perhaps for KC? Something to sit on. Could they take it to OT? Or are Fnatic going to hold the line all the way through? Crashy seems to think so! But Pyro has ended it. KC stamp it out, and to overtime we go again.
Massive round for KC. And to think as well, you look at Fnatic, they had everything that they needed
Remaining.
to get this over the line.
Guy gets inside your...
Nice! Let's go, guys. Let's
Just
go.
a second in it in the end. KC into another OT, but the statistics will say they have typically won from these positions. It feels crazy to think after the lead that they held early on in this game that faded away from them. But Alex still with work to be done.
KC and Fnatic well aware of each other's positions, as you said earlier, how each other want to play in terms of being scrim partners. They've played each other in groups, remember. This is a repeat matchup. It opened up stage 2.
All set.
That's what makes Bind all the more interesting if we do go there, because there is tape for both.
They played each other on it.
Exactly. Alpha back to business though. Vice Wall placed on A. But KC have not often looked to actively challenge this space any more aggressively than his positioning would suggest. Flash searching, but behind smoke it finds nothing. Sugetsu will want to face check this. Fnatic yet to reveal themselves with the minute mark now crossed.
Team Kayak identified through that knife as a lone player. Is there anything else at the back of this, right?
Feel the tension.
And with this Viper wall up, KC are forced to either face check this into 3 players or allow Fnatic the space.
30 seconds left.
Gets closer to crunch time. Boaster bold from the corner. Util sent out. Still Sadak trying to hold the line, but Boaster bests him captain on captain. Kayak the next. Fnatic 1 by 1. Making this attack work. And KC have been foiled. Their plans deleted. Alpha, 1 more. And now Martin has it all on his plate.
Against 4 as well. Kron in the corner. 2 players to try and swing off of him. This is everything that Fnatic want.
As soon as that reload is hit, Chronicle smells the blood in the water. Eyes bigger than his stomach, perhaps. Martin will get away with another, but this attack round and how pivotal it could be for Fnatic is everything. As KC will have to go back and win another one of their own. There's simply not enough time on the clock to make it happen. Fnatic have played a blinder here and got off to the best of starts in our second OT of this series.
And that's something we need to be aware of, is how well this Viper wall is working in terms of creating that pressure.
Yeah, Christmas. Bro, rotate. Mid.
And they won the mid fight. We saw it so many times. Fnatic needing this duel now,
Yeah,
but nobody's there.
Remember, Alpha has stood up though. That might be the curse activated.
Oh, right, okay. Is that the way we're going?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's see. Asked for the mid duel, and he's set up Kron here to receive it. Fight in main, double reveal. Ava's looking to profit off it, but Kron at the double. He's held up his end of the bargain again.
And so is the rest of Fnatic. That Spike looking very lonely, working through mid, and it's Sugetsu. If he goes a step too far, gets caught out, this round is totally unwinnable.
Might be, it's already feeling the case. But 2 players who know how to win a clutch. Sugetsu saying after the Liquid game he hasn't felt this sense of calmness in years coming into a match. Even with so much left on the line, still think it possible. A 2 versus 2 towards A or B, whichever way they go, but they have to play together.
But they're not. That's the problem. Sugetsu's trying to take a timing.
Chronicle has the jump up here, and as Sugetsu walks in, it's the spike fouled. Fnatic moving ever closer. Pyro to pull them out of a bad position. And Chronicle yet to be cleared. 20 seconds or less, or we're going all the way to bind. Pyro walking in. He's not going to find it with this one. So Fnatic will restore order, at least for the time being. The lower run continuing to a 3rd map.